Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've battled against insurance company giants, and we've won a lot. Injured, we became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. There's only one.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fox Local. We're happy to have you with us. I am Elise Edie. It is Friday, March 6th, TGIF. We've finally made it to the end of the week. Let's take a look now at some of the big stories that we're following today. We are going to start at the Georgia State Capitol. It's a big day there. That is because it is crossover day. So there is a lot at stake as we look there at the Gold Dome. Let's talk about what's happening under that dome. If you thought your Friday was busy, one thing is for sure, it is busier at the state capitol. It's crossover day once again. It means that it's the last day chambers have to vote on bills before they cross over to the other house. So if the bills don't pass before midnight, they're usually considered dead. Fox 5's Brittany Edney was at the Capitol all morning tracking the bills and what's happening there today. So she's joining us now to go over those bills that are working to survive the day. Let's take a look.
It is going to be a marathon of a day as lawmakers race to try and get bills that they care about out of committee and onto the floor for a vote. Under the Gold Dome, Friday will be a frantic day as lawmakers sprint to push measures through its chamber of origin. Otherwise, a bill is most likely dead, although there is a lengthy way to retrieve it. Some of the top measures that haven't yet passed in either chamber include Georgia House Bill 1223, which would limit public access to police body cam and dash cam video that shows a death. Georgia House Bill 1114, or the Home Act, would eliminate property taxes on primary residence by 2032. Georgia Senate Bill 568, which aims to eliminate county-wide early voting by requiring assigned precinct-based early voting, plus how election equipment is used across the state. Lastly, Senate Bill 34 would require data centers to fully pay to build and operate their own facilities, not pass those costs on to consumers. Another big deadline for today, candidates have to officially qualify for this year's elections at the state capitol. That includes all local, state, and federal races. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is among the latest high-profile candidates to qualify for the governor's race, along with former state labor commissioner and DeKalb CEO Michael Thurman.
I always tell people the best way to tell what somebody's going to do in the future is see what they've done in the past.
I'm the only Democrat running in the primary who's ever run a statewide race. I'm the only Democrat who's won not one, but 2, 3 statewide races.
Now, bills that survive crossover day, what happens next is they'll head over to the opposite chamber. There will be heard, there could be some debate, possible amendments. But again, to make it to that step first, they have to survive crossover day. Reporting outside the Georgia State Capitol, Brittany Edney, Fox Local.
Brittany, thank you so much for that. Okay, so again, it is a big day. There's several other bills that we are watching for you here at Fox. They affect everything from schools to political speech to your wallets to property taxes. So let's take a closer look at just a few of those. Beginning with this one, Senate Bill 552, the True Patriotism and Universal Student Access Act. So this would give students the right to engage in political activities and expression, as well as form partisan and nonpartisan groups or activities before, during, and after the school day. So that is Senate Bill 552. Senate Bill 34, that bill would require data centers to pay for their own infrastructure and facilities rather than passing those costs along to the consumer. So that is another important one that we're watching today. Also, this one, House Bill 1193, that bill would require literacy coaches for every Georgia school that serves kindergartners through 3rd grade. Again, those are just a few of the dozens that have a big day ahead if they're going to make it over on this crossover day. So this is also considered a really important day for Georgia politics. Candidates are officially qualifying for local, state, and for federal races as well. So just a few of those notable entries so far. Looks like Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and former state labor commissioner Mike Thurmond, both of whom have entered the race for governor. Several more candidates, including Republican gubernatorial candidate Rick Anderson is also expected to qualify today. And as a reminder, the midterm election is happening in May, and the state's gubernatorial election is in November. So talking about a big day, but a big year ahead for Georgia politics. We're going to make our way right now to Hall County. You might remember the story yesterday about the Hall County sheriff who was arrested for DUI. We've got some new information into the Fox 5 newsroom, a little bit more about what happened here. They're addressing, the department is addressing who's leading the department right now, who's leading the Hall County Sheriff's Office following the arrest of Sheriff Gerald Couch. Looks like they're saying Hall County Chief Deputy Kevin Head is leading the department. He said his role already had him overseeing the day-to-day operations, so he's going to be continued doing that. He said the office is cooperating with the Georgia State Patrol, which is looking into Sheriff Couch there in Hall County. So he was arrested last week after one of his own deputies spotted him swerving all over the road. He was in his county-issued car. The deputy called for Georgia State Patrol to assist. Again, this is according to the report. The sheriff originally said, here was his story about it. He said he spilled alcohol in the car. And that's when he says the deputy and trooper smelled what he spilled. The report said he later admitted to drinking that morning. Deputy said Couch's car had open Bahama Mama alcoholic drinks in the car when they searched it. Since Couch is an elected official, the governor is the only person, though, who can remove him from office. But again, just getting clarification today about who is leading the Hall County Sheriff's Department. And at this time, let me find that name for you one more time. Looks like Chief Deputy Kevin Head is at the helm there in Hall County. Talking about a big drug bust at this point, Brookhaven police are saying that a man's been arrested again after authorities are saying there's more than $100,000 worth of fentanyl and cocaine. They said this happened while the man was already out on bond in a separate drug case. 39-year-old Quincy Adams is who we're talking about here. I'm sorry, Quincy Adam Rogers is his name. He's charged with possession with intent to distribute. So back on February 5th, agents say they spotted Rogers carrying a drawstring bag near a vehicle before placing a duffel bag in the trunk of a second car that had just arrived. Officers with the DeKalb County Police Department later stopped the vehicle. This was on I-85 in Brazelton. Vaguely remember the details of this now. You may too. Investigators say the bag contained about 825 grams of suspected fentanyl powder, 5 kilograms of cocaine, and a kilogram press used to form drugs into bricks for distribution. So found the drugs, found the paraphernalia to go along with it. Authorities estimate the wholesale value of that was well over $100,000. Now, at the time of his arrest in Georgia, Rogers, so Quincy Adam Rogers, was on federal pretrial release from a pending drug trafficking charges in the U.S. District Court, Western District of Pennsylvania. So just finding out a little bit more about this big drug bust that happened back on February 25th. Well, now to another big one. Let's take a look at this. Looks like 16 people have been arrested in a racketeering investigation called Operation Silent Hand. Those arrested are accused of selling meth, fentanyl, and oxycodone across 6 counties, including Hall, Habersham, Franklin, Stevens, White, and Gwinnett counties. Investigators with GBI allege the group was sourcing those supplies from cartel-connected individuals in Metro Atlanta, primarily Gwinnett County, they're saying, and then illegally diverting pharmaceuticals from local pain clinics. So you're looking at some of the folks in that group. Again, 16 people from all over the place. I see several from Lula, Georgia, Mount Airy, Toccoa, Cornelia, Demarest on there as well. Gainesville, it looks like some of the suspects from Gainesville too. So they all currently are either in the Hall or Habersham County Jail. GBI is weighing in on this. They said agents found several illegal things while making their arrest. Among them, 32 kilograms of methamphetamine, 4 pounds of fentanyl, multiple firearms, numerous diverted pharmaceutical opioids. So beyond the immediate danger of overdoses, officials emphasize the drug trade fuels just a cycle of violent crime in Georgia communities, and agents say they do expect to make more arrests in the case. All right, well, this is a case where they need to make an arrest. We're talking about a runaway sex offender. Here's what we're being told about this. Looks like they're looking currently for this man. He left Jasper County, could possibly be in Metro Atlanta. They're searching for 42-year-old Tony Weekly, who you see on your screen there. Jasper County Sheriff's Office says that Weekly could possibly be living in DeKalb County, maybe Rockdale County. They're not quite sure where. But in Georgia, sex offenders do have to register where they live, and you can't just move without notifying the registry. That's illegal. So authorities have not said what it was that he was on the registry for, but they are certainly looking for him today. You're asked to call authorities if you know where he might be. Well, this is a pretty wild one and honestly pretty heartbreaking. Lots of bikes from an organization that's a nonprofit, provides free bikes to kids, teaches them how to ride the bikes. Their bikes were stolen. Let's get into what happened here. It was a free youth cycling education program. They've had to suspend the program because 26 bikes were stolen from a trailer at C.A. Scott Recreation Center in Mosley Park in the middle of the night. A mess. They say it happened at about 1 a.m. Since it was at that time, nobody saw, what happened. There's not, actually, they did have some video of this. Investigators say they were able to pull up some surveillance video that showed the culprits, how they did it under the cover of darkness, what they did to accomplish all of this. So the organization is called Propel ATL. And again, they provide free youth cycling education programs. They provide the bikes to kids that need them, teach them how to ride them. So just doing really great things in the community. And this is a tough hit for them because now they have to replace these. So we spoke with the leader of Propel ATL, Jeremiah Jones. Here's what he said.
He said it was about an hour process, taking all the bikes out and taking them all the way down the hill. Surprisingly, no one saw anything. The kids are sad. They're devastated that they can't ride bikes anymore and learn how to ride and gain that confidence in riding.
All right, so again, that was Jeremiah Jones from Propel ATL. Let's take a look at the numbers here. That's a lot of bikes we're talking about. Organization is facing a loss of almost $20,000 to try to replace what was stolen. He says the bikes alone run about $10,000. The trailer itself, he says, is another $6,000 or $7,000. So if this is something that, you would like to maybe help with, they're accepting donations online to try to help get those kids back on bikes. They say there's already been a big outpouring of support from the community. So again, if you'd like to donate, help them out, then their website is let'spropelatl.org/donate. Again, that's let'spropelatl.org/donate. Hopefully they can quickly find the person responsible for doing this, stealing all those bikes from that organization. All right, it is 11:12 and turning our attention now to some international news for you. The Israel Defense Forces said today it dismantled an underground bunker in Tehran built by Iran's former supreme leader. So a big deal we're talking about. Israeli officials said the compound stretched beneath several streets in central Tehran and included multiple entrances and meeting rooms used by senior regime leaders. According to a senior Israeli official, the bunker was actually located beneath an area where the Ayatollah and other officials had gathered when the nearly 50 people were killed in less than a minute during the launch of an operation referred to as what we know it as Operation Epic Fury. Officials said the bunker took years to build and cost millions of dollars, but it was not used by the Ayatollah during the strike. So that's pretty interesting. They also said a joint Israeli-American deception campaign helped convince Iranian officials that no attack was imminent. That's how they were able to accomplish this, including public messaging from President Trump and other signals meant to mislead Iranian officials. So a big part of this, what we're talking about, what's happening in the Middle East, effects of that are being felt all over the place, including here at home when it comes to gas prices. So let's talk about the changes that we've seen in that so far. Looks like gas prices are up about 30 cents in areas around Metro Atlanta. This is just been since the U.S. and Israel began attacking Iran. According to Gas Buddy, the current price for gas around here looks like it's about $3.38. That's up, though, from $2.95 on Sunday. So a pretty big change in just less than a week's time. It looks like inside the city of Atlanta, the highest price is the further that you get outside of the city. This is looking to info provided by Gas Buddy. Lower cost are actually inside of city limits. They say the reason for the gas price hike is the issue in the Strait of Hormuz, where oil is shipped in from the Middle East. So again, seeing direct impacts of what is happening in the Middle East being felt in our wallets already. U.S. and other countries are working to plan escort oil tankers to escort them out of the strait, and that should lead to lower gas prices. But for now, we can expect them to stay elevated and potentially go up in the short term. All right, some other big news from Capitol Hill. It looks like, here we go. Okay, the replacement of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. She was removed from her job as secretary yesterday after 2 days of testimony before Congress that got really, really fiery. And that right there, the ad that you're seeing, was a big part of that, you know, the price tag in order to make that. So let's dive into this. She was the first cabinet secretary to leave during the president's second term. Departure caps a really tumultuous tenure overseeing immigration enforcement tactics that have been met with protest and lawsuits and calls from some on both sides to be ousted or to resign. So she faced a wave of criticism as she's overseen ICE crackdowns, especially the shooting deaths of 2 protesters in Minneapolis. She's a former South Dakota governor, also criticized over the way her department spent billions of dollars allocated to it by Congress. Let's listen in to just a little bit about what happened yesterday. Here it is.
You know, President Trump has been working hard to make sure that he's delivering on what he promised the American people, and that's to make America safe again. In doing so, we have gone out and found over 1,500 known and suspected terrorists that were let into this country over the open border invasion that we saw during the last administration. Those 1,500 individuals who were already on our known and suspected terrorist watch list have been brought to justice and removed. We know there's many more, but we're going to still continue to look for them, to find them, and to do all that we can to make sure that this country is safe. Beyond that, we've also arrested and removed over 7,700 gang members, TDA members, MS-13, Sinaloa cartel. The president is extremely focused on fighting cartels and recognize them as a foreign terrorist organization so that we can have new authorities to go after them. And we'll be working throughout the Western Hemisphere with all the countries to make sure that we're biting the snake off, cutting its head off with fighting the cartels before they ever reach the United States, stopping the drug flow, stopping the guns and ammunition from getting here and hurting our families and the homeland. We'll continue to work together to make sure that we have the opportunity to do that.
It is obvious that the deal is not getting done and the job is not being done. He will make the switch. He's a developer. He knows how to get stuff done. And he's in the middle of a war, and he really cannot allow his administration to be taken off course by sideshows like this.
Okay, so who is the he that we're talking about here? Let's take a closer look at this. The president has nominated Senator from Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, to take on this position. It's who you're looking at. He's been in the Senate for 3 years, previously served a decade in the House of Representatives. Both Noem and Republicans addressed that removal yesterday, which is what we just heard just a moment ago. So Mullin does need to be confirmed by the Senate. This is not a done deal just yet, but under a federal law governing executive branch vacancies, he would be allowed to serve as acting Homeland Security Secretary as long as his nomination is formally pending. So again, the man in this position for right now is Senator from Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, taking over the department. Our time is 11:18 on this Friday morning, and still ahead, we're talking about America's 250th birthday. That includes a special flight that's bringing some original documents from the Founding Fathers right here to Atlanta. So pretty cool. We're going to take a look at that next. meteorologist Jonathan Stacy is joining us now with a check of the forecast. What's happening outside today?
Plenty of sunshine, a lot of clouds, but the clouds, I think, are a little bit less common than the sunshine is. So it's nice to really bring in some sun, and it is doing a wonder on our temperatures. We're already rising into the 70s as we speak.
Hey.
That means we're definitely going into the 80s today. Here's the only thing that will really blunt temperatures over the weekend, and that is the arrival of some storms tomorrow. Those storms could be severe, specifically looking at tomorrow night, damaging wind gusts. Maybe during the evening hours, possibly some small hail. But other than that, just some heavy downpours. I'm not really concerned about the severe risk, but you know, these days, a severe thunderstorm can just pop up here and or there, but I don't think it's going to be a widespread situation by any measure.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and track the timing on this. As we start the clock here, there'll be a few showers that jump out this evening, maybe a couple claps of thunder, but overall, a quiet night going into the first part of the weekend. Saturday starts out cloudy, and then as we get into the 4 o'clock period, we get in sunshine, but then those showers start rearing up, and you'll see them popping up on radar. As we go through the day, you'll notice that the main flow of these storms is to start to the south and to the west of the city, and they'll climb to the north and to the east. What we'll be waiting on for the majority of the day is a line to come through. That will be a really stout line of storms, and it starts around 8 o'clock across northwest Georgia, and they'll continue to progress to the east as we get deeper into the overnight hours. So when the roughest weather comes through, most of us, unless you're going out somewhere, out on the streets at nighttime, I think we're going to all be inside. So we'll hear the rain hitting our rooftops, and we'll also hear those claps of thunder. Overall, the atmosphere will start to stabilize as we get deeper into the overnight hours going into Sunday morning. There will be periods of steady rain, but there also will be some dry periods out there. So just try to capitalize on the dry periods in which you can get outside and maybe enjoy some activities and play around, go to the parks, get some exercising done. And for those of you who are eager to play in the yard and gardens, you're going to have a good opportunity to do so as well. It's just that there will be some periods that you'll have to head for the indoors and dodge the showers. We'll continue with the chance for some showers and storms as we get into next week as well. Right now, Elise, temperature 77 degrees. That's here in Atlanta, 77 in Covington, almost to 80 degrees down there in Thomaston. So what does that mean for us? We are going to hit the record today, which stands at 80 degrees set back in 2022. So not a long-standing record, but we're going to definitely hit, So it's definitely going to be a record buster today. We're just a couple degrees away from 80.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
How do you feel? I feel like you do too. I know this is your jam.
Yes, I do. The humidity is starting to sneak back in, and it's not oppressive or sultry by any degree. However, I'm starting to feel it, and you'll feel it too throughout the weekend. There is a big cool down coming by this time next week. So enjoy the warmth and the summer-like vibes while they last.
We certainly will. All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone. All right, so this year marks America's 250th birthday. And to celebrate that, the Freedom Plane National Tour is bringing real history and also a reminder of our founders' American spirit to people all across the country, eventually here in Atlanta, which is something that we can get excited about. So Fox's Oliviana Calmes is joining us with more on the tour and when it'll be here.
This is a way for us to bring the documents to the people.
Inside this dimly lit room, visitors can walk right up to the documents that started it all.
These fundamental documents that record all those happenings as our forebears sought to define who we were and who we wanted to be as Americans.
These original records arrived in Kansas City on what organizers are calling the Freedom Plane, a specially marked aircraft carrying them across the country.
These are the founding fathers of the United States. And so there's a great pride that comes with that. To say that it's a privilege or an honor would just really be an understatement.
After Kansas City, the tour will head to Atlanta, LA, Houston, Denver, Miami, Dearborn, Michigan, and Seattle. I spoke with one of the people tasked with making sure they get there safely.
We have them wrapped in Mylar, and then they are also encapsulated with plexiglass. So basically, they're in their own microclimates. And we also have an ArtZorb, which is a material that sort of controls the humidity. So all of these documents are in their own microclimates.
The exhibit features founding-era documents, including George Washington's Oath of Allegiance, the Treaty of Paris, and an early printing of the Constitution.
This exhibit itself is really a history of the American Revolution, the creation of our government, and then the creation of the Bill of Rights within one small space.
And that was Oliviana Calmes reporting for us there. Still ahead, we're talking about these teen takeovers. There's been lots of stories and situations here lately of teens taking over areas. Police get called in, there's arrests, it's chaos. So we're going to talk about one that could potentially is planned to happen this weekend, what officers are doing to try to stop that, and also talk with the dad who's part of an organization trying to give kids something to do. So stick around for that. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. All right, we're going to make our way to East Roswell at this point. I feel like I know someone, you probably know someone that loves used book sales. Well, there are 30,000 books that are up for sale in East Roswell. Our Eli Jordan is joining us live to show us what's going on. And I mean, that's a lot of books up for grabs, Eli.
Oh, yes, it is, Elise. Hey, good morning. Yes, I'm at the East Roswell Library Annex, and this is where they're going to be having a 2-day book sale where you can come out here and get some really good deals on a lot of different books out here. You can pay $2 for a hardback or $1 softback, and they got all sorts of good stuff out here. They got, like, here's some stuff I picked out. We got some stuff, Tom Wolfe, we got some Sedaris, and we got some Tyler Perry there, right there, to Crichton. There's all sorts of good stuff. It's a good deal, and it's for a good cause. And with me right now is the East Roswell Library Board President, Stephanie Smith. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing?
Hi, Eli. I'm great. Thank you.
So tell me, what is this book sale about, and what's it for? Just tell me all about it.
Absolutely. So this is for the Friends of East Roswell Library. We are a volunteer organization that supports the East Roswell Library, and we raise funds through our book sale, and that is what helps us provide wonderful things for the community, such as classes. Last year we did over 250 classes for free. That includes things for free. That includes things like yoga, cooking classes, art classes, different kinds of parties for kids. And this is how we raise all of that money.
And so you got all sorts of books here. Are these books that you're clearing out from the library? Just tell me about that.
Yeah, so we actually are really great partners with the community, and so we host donation days. You can donate any day at the library, or you can donate during our drive-through donation days, and we collect these from community members who just have a love of reading and want to make sure that their book goes into the hand of another book lover.
And this is a really great deal. It's $2 for hardbacks. I mean, there's a lot of really good hardbacks here that would, make for an impressive library at home. And it's just what. Tell me about some of the classes again that you said you had yoga classes, you got some cooking classes. These are for free?
Absolutely. So anyone in the community is allowed, and actually anyone in the state is allowed to sign up. You just go online to the Fulton County website and you sign up for the class there. And they vary by day, by week, by month. And we do a little bit of everything. I recently took a Mardi Gras cooking class, and it was a lot of fun. They did some art classes, wreath making, things like that. We do candle making. Anything you can think of, pretty much we do, and it's free. And the Friends of East Roswell Library pay for all of that.
And that's where the funds will be going towards classes like that, and also, I guess, just basic funding, I guess, for the library, East Roswell Library, right?
Absolutely. So we like to take care of our librarians. We have a great branch manager, a great children's librarian. So we do things like supplement all of their government funding so they can do above and beyond. So we do things like a summer reading kickoff party for them, and that's for the community. And just a lot of different community events, anything that we can do to help the citizens of Roswell and Fulton County.
So tell me, when is the sale? What are the hours? We got it going on 2 days, correct?
Absolutely. So tomorrow, Saturday, we will be here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, we'll be here from noon to 4 p.m. And Sunday's a really special day, Eli, because Sunday is what we call book day and bag day. And you can get as many books as you can fit in a grocery bag for $5.
Oh, wow.
Or if you want to pay an extra $1, you get a really fun reusable bag that has the Friends of East Roswell Library on it. And it holds a lot more books. So you can fill up this reusable book bag for $6 on Sunday.
That's a really good deal right there.
Anything in here. But not all of our books are $2 and $1. We have prolific authors, those names that you always think of when you think about reading. People like Dan Brown, Stephen King. Those are actually 3 for $1, including the hardback.
Oh,
and then we have mass market paperback books. You can get those for 5 for $1.
And so people wanting to come down, this is not at the East Library location. This is at your annex, correct?
Correct. This is at our off-site location, and that's at the corner of Holcomb Bridge and Old Alabama Road. We're in the same shopping center as Chamberlain's Chocolate and Omni Fitness. And then if you're not familiar with those, if you've ever heard of the PGA Superstore, it's just on the other side of us.
So right at the corner of Holcomb Bridge and Old Alabama, tomorrow from 10 a.m. till 6?
Yep.
And then Sunday, 12 until 4?
Absolutely. And we're also going to have King of Pops out here, and we're going to have the Girl Scouts selling cookies. And we don't have just fiction and nonfiction books. We have children's books. We have nonfiction books that are divided by genre. We have old books, quirky books, historical books, anything you can think of. We also even have games and puzzles, DVDs and audiobooks. So if you love books, if you love reading, if you love learning, this is a great place with a great price.
And you guys have a website?
Absolutely. It is the Friends O Furl. So FRIENDSOFERL.org. And you can learn more about us. You can look at our sale times. You can learn about donating. And if you want to get involved as a community member, the board is all volunteer effort, and we would love to have you serve with us.
Awesome. Well, this is really cool, Stephanie. At least this is what's going on here this weekend. 2-day sale, a really good deal on books. If you like books, come on out here, check it out. It's going to a good cause. Make sure that the East Roswell Library can still continue with their really cool classes that they put on for free to the community, and also all the good resources they provide for the community. You'll be helping them out here at their East Roswell Library Annex, which is at 1575 Old Alabama Road in Roswell, at the corner of Old Alabama Road and Holcomb Bridge Road.
Good stuff. Hey, with 30,000 books, there's certainly something for everyone. So Eli, thank you so much for showing us around that upcoming book sale. We appreciate it. Our time is 11:37 now, and have you been hearing about these teen takeovers? There was one out at the Battery, one around Atlantic Station. It's just been happening more and more, but now Henry County Police are saying that they're on high alert after social media posts promoting a possible teen takeover in the area this weekend, so could be happening once again. Officers say they're monitoring activity right now around Henry Town Center Shopping Complex. They say it's on Jonesboro Road, and that's after some posts that have been circulating about a possible takeover at a nearby trampoline park. I think it's Urban Air that's mentioned. Police say they do have a highly visible police presence. They're working with businesses at the shopping center to monitor activity. So here's Lieutenant Andre Sykes with Henry County Police.
That's going to bring their kids there to the event or to Urban Air to enjoy the building or the location. Please don't just drop and leave your kids there. Please stay with them, enjoy the festivities with them as well, enjoy the shopping, enjoy the eatery. We will be out there to handle anybody that will break any type of laws or anything of that nature.
All right, so that is the word that we are getting there from the Henry County Police Department. Again, they are on top of this. They know about the potential of it happening this weekend. But for a bit of a different perspective on this, we're joined now by Keith Lewis. He is from I'm a Father First, an organization. So Keith, thank you so much for taking time to be with us on the stream to talk about this today. It's good to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me so much. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. You know, I wish this is
We started with a barber shop in APS at Best Academy. We did over 3,000 haircuts for free for students between Best Academy and Gene Childs Young and several other schools on the west side of Atlanta. And then during the pandemic, we were able to feed about 250,000 meals of love, where we provided meals direct to the door of students and their families in APS on the west side of Atlanta. And then we got involved with a lot of gun violence, unfortunately. So we started to actually mentor, even as recently as last week, we were working with the family of Zoe Price, the 7-year-old that was murdered. And now we also have a program up in Philly. We mentor 3rd and 8th graders up in Philadelphia School District. So we're growing. We have a chapter in Lake Charles, Louisiana that services the school population there as well. So we just try to change the narrative that Black fathers aren't present.
Yeah, doing some amazing work by all accounts, and we appreciate the work that's being done here in our community. Let's dive into this whole teen takeover thing. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it can be hard for parents to even know how to handle this wasn't what we were getting into. We were into entirely different things, right? So now, you know, they have the kids, they have the teens that are wanting to participate in this. Let's start by talking to parents with teens who are coming and saying that they want to be a part of these takeover events. What do you do if your teen wants to go to something like this?
shut it down. Like I have a friend in Henry, I have a friend in Henry County, and she posted. That was the first way I heard about the Henry
Yeah.
County thing that's supposed to happen tomorrow. And she as an advocate and as a community leader, she posted the meetup spot. She posted the time. She started contacting her small Facebook groups. So I think active parenting looks different. You know, active parenting is a hands-on approach. You definitely want to have your child's location. My oldest children are 22 and 20, and we still share locations with each other. And just really being active and saying, where are you going? You know, I have a 9-year-old that loves going to the urban air and sky zone. So I can't imagine how I would have to respond
Sure.
if he was there and two of the kids swarmed that place that were teenagers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be like worst case scenario. You know, you send your kid there just to have a good
Oh,
time with
that'd be
something like
worst case.
this. Yeah, certainly so. And I think it also goes along with what you said. It was perfect. You don't let them go. And there's no talking around this. Well, I just want to go and see, or I just want to go, we're just going to hang. Like, this is a no. This needs to be a no
No, no,
for
because
parents.
like I was saying earlier, a couple years ago, Zion was killed at Atlantic Station. I
Hmm.
mean, Cameron and Zion were shot. Zion eventually passed away. Cameron passed away at Atlantic Station, and it wasn't even one of these type of meetups. But the kids used to meet up at Atlantic Station. It's just that's their hangout spot.
Hmm.
But if you got kids that got social media beef and they literally telling each other, "We're gonna meet up here and it's on site," then you best believe someone has a weapon there and someone is coming planning to use it. And then I worked with another young situation, a kid, Deshaun, he got murdered over at the Cascade skating rink, 13-year-old baby. You know, I worked with another kid, 11 years old, killed at the basketball court over on the west side of Atlanta while shooting basketball. He passed away in his mother's arms this summer. So personally, seriously, I've dealt with too many mothers and fathers that are bearing children because of meetups that spark from social media beef, and they say, let's meet here. So aside from this whole fun thought that we're looking at, there's someone in that crowd of 200 that has a plan that doesn't end in fun at all. It ends in funerals and a lot of heartache for family.
Sure. You know what's interesting in what we've seen with some of these, I believe it was the takeover that happened out at the Battery. I mean, there were arrests of teens, there were arrests of parents as well. So, I mean, this has implications, you know, far beyond
Yeah.
the obvious dangers that can come with a takeover like this. What would be your advice for parents who are trying to navigate this right now and set clear boundaries for their kids and their teens without conflict? Now, you mentioned you have a 9-year-old, you also have 20-somethings as well. So you've kind of hit those different stages. Do you have any advice?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just really understanding that it's not time to be friends with your children. You know, and our generation, you know, I'm 45. We kind of grew up in that era where we're kind of different than our parents. You know, my mom and dad is 76 and 71. They parent with a much stronger hand. You know what I mean? A lot of times these parents these days, we think, oh, if I'm friends with my child, they'll tell me what they're going through. They'll tell me what they're experiencing. But the flip side to that is when they're outside of your eyesight, what are they doing? A lot of parents think their children are quiet because, especially boys, they may not talk to you. But trust me, when they get around their peers, they're running their mouth like I'm talking to you right now. So it's like differentiating from friend to actually authoritative figure. And then also setting guidelines, boundaries. You need to have a curfew. The city doesn't need to implement a curfew. You should be able to implement your own curfew on your child. You know, earlier this week, the parent of that 14-year-old boy that did that shooting up at that school, he just got convicted of all charges. So imagine him sitting in prison for the rest of his life for something his son did. So to
Hmm.
all parents, it's like my daughter just told me, it's gonna take it a lot more serious when you know that police can come knocking on your door too. Because usually parents say, all right, you're gonna get yourself in some trouble you can't get out of. Now it's like, boy, you better get tight because you're gonna get me in some trouble too.
Yeah, seriously, seriously. So, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that too. Fresh off of the news, you know, obviously of the Appalachia school shooter's dad, you mentioned that. But also, you know, we've heard from several of the police departments, and they're talking directly to parents when they're saying it's your responsibility to know where your children are and your teens and make sure. We've heard several of them talking directly to parents. So, switching gears here just a little bit, do you have any ideas or just advice on alternatives here, ways, safe ways for teens to be able to socialize? Because that's what you want to do as a teen, right? But you
Yeah.
need the opportunity to do so safely.
Yeah, I mean, alternatives. When I grew up in Atlanta, we used to go to run and shoot. So anybody usually in their late 30s to 50s, they remember run and shoot on Stewart Avenue, which is now Metropolitan. Now, in place of that, you have the At Promise Center. My 20-year-old son went through the At Promise Center. So Mayor Dickens and his staff has done a great job along with the Atlanta Police Foundation and the Urban League. So I would say parents check in with the Goodwill, check in with the Urban League, check in with the At Promise Center if you're in Metro Atlanta. If not, I'm on the board at the Carl Sanders YMCA in Buckhead. We have plenty of programs, and part of our programming right now in our meeting is how do we help children that are 16 through 20. My 22-year-old daughter is actually working in the after-school program in the YMCA. So you have to really just get involved, and then you have to give your child resources. But I know as for us, shameless plug, we're starting a West Side Kitchen Academy. So we're going to be teaching children the culinary skills, how to run a restaurant. And we've partnered up with a restaurant over here on MLK called MLK Pizza and More. So during spring break, April 6th and 7th, we're going to be training students how to operate, run a restaurant, run the POS system. And then I have a lot of partners around the city that'll be hiring these teams because they'll know they'll be coming through the I'm a Father First pipeline.
I want to tell you, looking in some of the social media comments that we're getting, what you're saying is really resonating with many of the folks watching. And we just, got a comment in saying you're dropping some gems. So I want you to know that, I mean, there's a lot of truth.
Oh yeah, and they tell me that
Yeah,
every day. Follow me on Instagram. I'm a father first.
there you go.
But no,
So,
seriously, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, like you said, that only in these times that people get to hear the wisdom, because a lot of times the bull crap is what leads stories, and that's unfortunate. We
yeah.
shouldn't have to lead our stories and our narratives. Last week, and I know you have to go, but last week I posted about a young lady that was begging for food outside of the Wendy's here on MLK and HE Homes. That's what led to the West Side Kitchen Academy. She literally was out there at 9 o'clock at night. I posted on Facebook the story and it went viral. I had like over 170,000 views. I've
Wow.
never had that many eyeballs for any of the positive stuff we've done. Not feeding, not haircuts, not job training. But when it was about this young lady and one business owner, Tony Jackson over at 285, MLK Pizza and More, he said, Keith, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to put together. So for me, I'm challenging other business owners. We shouldn't just go viral when we're talking about a young girl begging for food. The tagline I put on that program is no child should beg for food. Then when baby Zoe passed away, when I'm at the vigil Monday with Angelique, we see all this stuff, all these posts, all these people follow the live and all this stuff. But it's like we need the support of the community when we're out here helping day to day. Being a community leader doesn't come with a salary, it starts with your heart. So we need people that's going to come join forces with us to provide training, to provide resources and opportunity, because resources, exposure, and opportunity are what changes the trajectory of a child.
Very nice. We're out of time, Keith. I want you to tell me your website or social media, though, where folks can go. There's a grandma watching, there's an auntie watching who needs the resources of I'm a Father First, and dads watching.
Yes.
So where can we go for more?
Yeah. It's I'm a Father First. I am, no apostrophe. I'm a father, and then first is F1RST. So basically, it's I'm a Father First. You can find us on Facebook, but contact me directly on Instagram. You can send me a DM. And if someone is really serious, you can give me a call, 470-698-5084. We're looking for partners, sponsors, and different allies that's going to help us mobilize more kids. We're saving lives, and we can't do it without the community.
Keith Lewis with us today from I'm a Father First. Keith, thank you so much for your insight. It's a pleasure to have you on with us today.
Thank you for what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
Of course. Our time is 11:50, and we're back with more right after this. are looking for something to do this weekend, it might be a good idea to make your way to Dunwoody. Morty's Meat and Supply has added dueling pianos. Super, super cool. And you're invited to go and sing along. So our Paul Milliken was there this morning. Let's take a look.
Well, if you were watching Good Day Atlanta this morning, you know it was a party like I don't think we've ever had on Good Day Atlanta. David, thank you for taking it to the next level, my friend.
Rise and shine. Let's go.
Absolutely. This should be a daily thing. What do you think? A daily segment here?
Sure, of course.
It's happening. It is happening.
Got to wake up and get it going here.
That's right. This is Morty's Meat and Supply in Funwoody Village in Dunwoody. David, you've got something new going on that I so love, and I cannot wait to be here. Just off TV as a patron, this is Dueling Piano. So it starts tonight. Tell me how it works.
Yeah, starting tonight, 8 o'clock, Dueling Pianos. You reserve a table, come in and walk in if you want. Have a good time, sing along, dance, carry on.
And the great thing is, you know that people are going to be singing from like other restaurants. It's going to carry through the village.
Oh,
right?
it's unbelievable. The hair salon across the way, they've been coming out this morning. Want to know what's going on over here.
That's a great soundtrack to get your hair cut to. I love that. Why did you decide this was something you wanted to do here?
Just something I want year-round. I want to entertain people. We do karaoke on Thursday, trivia on Wednesdays, dueling piano Friday and Saturday. It's a party here in Funwoody always.
Well, that's the thing. This Funwoody area back here, you have created such a community hub. Was that always the vision for this?
Yeah, that's what it was. I was tired of my wife saying, let's go to Roswell, let's go to Alpharetta. I said, how is there no place in Dunwoody to hang out? And that's where we came up with this, with Barn first, Morty second, Message in a Bottle, good vibes. And we got our new restaurant Stable getting ready to open up in April.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Cannot wait. Okay, and there's a lot of entertainment here at Morty's Meat and Supply. So you've got dueling pianos Fridays and Saturdays. What else do you have on the schedule?
Yep, we do trivia on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Karaoke kicked off last night, Thursday.
Yes, it did.
Mitchell and I, we did Soul Man. It was
I know you did. You and your son brought the house down, and you purposely didn't invite me because you were intimidated of my vocal skills.
Well, I just wanted to get your beauty rest for today.
Thank you.
So
Well, I appreciate. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate that. So again, folks can come enjoy the Dueling Piano Show Friday, Saturday. If you want to definitely sit at a table, make a reservation.
Yeah, go to Morty's Dunwoody, make a reservation online and all that stuff, and you get your table reserved.
Yeah, I think we should sing again. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, and let me just say, our crew of pianists and singers, second to none here this morning. So before they start, once again, give me the name. And you are so amazing. I have loved watching you guys figure out this. We have thrown a lot of requests at these poor musicians, and they have nailed it every time, to the point that I was like, play me some What a Girl Wants, Christina Aguilera, and we had a full-on jam session with that song. Next up, Caitlin, it is so great hearing you. And by the way, Caitlin with the whistle tones over here, okay? I heard high notes that I didn't know anyone other than Mariah could do, so I can't wait to hear more. Next up, of course,
Francisco.
Co-founder of Atlanta Dueling Pianos. Are you so excited to get this off the ground and get people in here?
Very excited.
I know you are.
David's given us a great opportunity to show everybody a good time.
Yeah.
Every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, I love it. And then our smooth crooner over here,
Michael Magno.
Bringing it down with the Michael Jackson earlier. It made me cry. I had tears rushing down. All right, everybody, I feel like we need to get it rocking in here. Let's do a little Maroon 5. Whenever you're ready, take it away.
This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. And her heart is thinking in front of me. And I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa.
Whoa. I love this, and you can come and enjoy and join the party here at Morty's Meat and Supply. Dueling Pianos is here.
Right, Dunwoody's showing out. Also, speaking of showing out, we have the queen of things to do, our digital queen, Joyce Lupiani, joining us with a few things to do. So what's happening this weekend, Joyce?
Hey, Elise. So there are so many things happening this weekend, and I have just a couple of them right now. So the Atlanta Fair is opening this weekend. Now, that's in downtown Atlanta near the Georgia State Stadium, and it's pretty much like a traditional fair with the rides and the fried food and all the games. The other thing I wanted to mention is the annual Sip and Swine Barbecue Festival in Gwinnett County. Now, that's an annual event, and it benefits the Hope of Home of Hope, which is the children's shelter out there in Gwinnett. And there's going to be like a huge barbecue competition, live music, craft vendors, a kids zone, all sorts of things. So we've got all the details about both of those events and probably about 20 other things to do on our website. Yeah, it's a big list. So all you have to do is just go to fox5atlanta.com and look right there on the homepage and you can find the whole list.
Very nice. Some good stuff, Joyce. Okay, so you're our Jeep girly. So what are you getting into this weekend? I need to know what your plans are, Joyce.
Well, I was planning on going out to Windrock in Oliver, Tennessee with the Cherokee County Jeepers, but I'm kind of waiting on getting a new Jeep, and I was supposed to have it by today, but yeah, so we'll see. Maybe I'll go out to Lawrenceville instead and eat some barbecue.
Maybe so. I think that's a good idea, and I can't wait to go for a ride with you in that new Jeep. Okay, Joyce? I'm going to hold you to it.
Absolutely.
All right, Joyce, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and all of you.
Well, it's a pivotal day for Georgia lawmakers as they try to determine the fate of high-profile bills for the remainder of the year. And a free youth cycling program has been suspended after a heartless thief steals dozens of bikes worth nearly $20,000.
And temperatures are up and off and on their way once more. We're on the cusp of breaking into the 80s. Records will be broken. Will the trend continue into the weekend? Your Fox 5 Swim Team forecast is ahead.
Fox 5 News at Noon starts right now.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at Noon. I'm Eric Perry. We continue to follow reports of a police officer that was stabbed overnight in DeKalb County.